This is my Sony A6700, and in this video we're going to be talking about what I think is the best lens that you can buy for it. So with this being said, I have some notes here that I'm going to be pulling out, so you know that I'm actually pulling out some actual information that I know of. So first of all, the A6700 is 493 grams, right? And paired with the original kit lens, which is this bad boy right here, which is the Sony, is it the 16-50? So this lens right here is about 116 grams. So the good thing about being in the APS-C line is that you have the advantage of using smaller lenses. Like this one is the power zoom option, which means if I switch it on, it pops out like that, and I switch it off, it's gonna zoom back in. So you get that portability, right? And the compactness of the kit lens. So the problem is when you're out to search for lenses, they can get pretty big very fast, and that defeats the purpose of being in the APS-C ecosystem. Hence, this lens that I've discovered. I really like this new lens that Sigma came out with. This is the 18-50 2.8. So the amazing thing about this is that it retains the ability to have a lens that can zoom in and out, which means you are using a zoom lens. This one is actually a zoom lens, and this one is also a zoom lens. So a lot of people will opt you to buy like a prime lens. Let's pretend this one. This is the Sony 50 1.8. This is good because it has 1.8, right? But you lose the ability to zoom. Okay, so let me give you additional context. So my main driver for photography and videography, aside from my A7S III, which is this camera right here, is my A7 IV. So with this one right here, I'm using a Sigma 24-70. So in full frame terms, since this has no crop, this has a 24-70 equivalent, hence the focal length. So the problem with this big guy right here is that it is super big and heavy. If I were to compare the size of using the A6700 with the lens that I just mentioned, check this out. So if I were to prop this on, look at the size difference. Let me grab an actual weighing scale, one sec. So if I were to measure the weight of the A7 IV with my Sigma 24-70 FE mount, this weighs at about 1,582 grams, which is about 1.58 kilograms. So that's 1.58 kilograms, right? So this one right here, which is this A6700, which is a crop sensor body with a 1.5 crop, this will give you an equivalent of about, I don't know, 28 to 75 focal length. So this one right here, which is almost the same thing, weighs only at 824 grams. So this is 1.5 kilos. This is only 825 grams. With that being said, I'm not saying that the images that will come out of this can be replaced by this, because this has a full frame sensor, right? Whereas this one is only an APS-C sensor. But my main point here is that if you are an A7 IV user or any other full frame camera that you're currently using and you want to have that same usability with an APS-C body, then this lens right here is actually a very good choice because you retain the zoomability, but at the same time you get a more compact form factor, right? Without having to lug this around, you get this. So this is like the big brother of my kit, because this one is exactly like this one because they're both Sigma and they're both Sony cameras, and they're both part of the newer A6700, A7S III kind of lineup. Like their interface are the same. And yeah, I love this camera a lot because sometimes I don't really want to bring this unless I really want to shoot with the most bokeh that I can get out of a camera. I'm not going to bring this out. I'm just going to bring this. This is already enough. So one more option out there that I hear a lot of people talk about on YouTube is the Tamron 17-70 millimeter f2.8 lens. So again, that one is a lot bigger, although you get a little bit of the wider side, like 1 millimeter wider than this lens right here, which is the 18-50. Plus you get 20 millimeters more on the longer reach. This weighs, the Tamron 70-70 weighs 525 grams. Take note of that. Whereas this one only weighs 290 grams. So again, this whole kit will weigh only about 825 grams, all in all, with the hood, with the battery attached. So yeah, my main point is that this kit right here basically changed the way I shoot. I remember having to always bring this guy right here whenever I want to have that zoom capability with F2.8. It's just so troublesome to carry this around because it's just so heavy, and sometimes it's unnecessary because if I don't have a professional shoot on that day, I just want to have a camera in my bag, right? There's no reason for me to bring an A7 IV with a 24-70 weighing 1.5 kilograms on my backpack, and I have to walk around the whole day, bring it around after work or something. Where in this one, I can just leave it in my bag. It's not going to hurt that much, and I can get semi-decent quality photos. I love the A6700 a lot. It just makes me feel like I'm actually still carrying the A7 IV without the weight that it bears. So yeah, this was just a quick video talking about what I think about my Sony A6700 plus the Sigma 18-50. So if you are out there looking for a lens to go from after buying the A6700 and you're done using the kit lens, I'm not throwing this away yet. This is actually a very good lens that you can still bring around with you if you want to film in broad daylight, because this only has an aperture of, is it 3.5 to 5.6. So when we're talking about low light, this isn't going to do anymore, right? So I basically use this lens whenever I do top-down shots. If I'm still using my kit lens, I can just still use it as a top-down angle because I'm using a friction arm right now on top, and using a heavier lens might cause it to be unstable. So there is a time and place for this old kit lens, but for my everyday carry, when it comes to my A6700, this is the lens that I'm going to be bringing with me. So if you're in the market looking for your next lens for your A6700, I suggest that you don't look any further. Just go for the Sigma 18-50 f2.8. For now, just skip the prime lenses. The prime lenses have a time and place, like for portraits, like getting rid of the background, blurring it out, like for better low light performance. But for everyday use with decent low light capabilities and decent bokeh capabilities, like the blurring of the background, the 18-50 by Sigma is more than enough. So thank you guys so much for watching this quick video. I hope you guys learned something from my experience shooting with the A6700 and my A7 IV and my A7S III. Like, I love this camera. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys next time. Peace.